Bless me, welcome on one of the top players in the upcoming draft, Kyree Walker. How you doing, man?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Well, we know it's been a hectic year for a lot of people. You took an interesting route we'll get into, but we all know that you're preparing for this upcoming draft. So, how do you feel heading into this? Like, how does your body feel? Just kind of take us through your body and all that.
When I got here, I was probably like 6'6", 230.
Mhm.
Um, Went to a chiropractor the other day. I got listed at 6'7", 215. So I don't know, but I think that's the biggest jump so far. Grew and I lost a lot of weight. So
Mhm.
I'm really happy, man. It's just I feel like if I had this body during high school, I think I would average maybe 45, 50. So I'm pretty happy. I'm doing it now. So get ready for the league than me doing it later when I'm hurting and you know what I mean. Just I'm happy, man. My body feels amazing. So I'm like the process so far.
We're gonna get all of this in a little bit later, but I kind of want to go through your journey a little bit. As I said, it's been a crazy one, and all this kind of started back in middle school. It's just rare for a lot of guys that where you have the social media buzz and you've had your name, you've had people following you around since seventh, eighth grade. Let's go back then. Just take us through that. You're a seventh, eighth grade kid. How are you dealing with this? How is this just like having all this media on you at such a young age?
Um, it was good. Growing up, I always wanted to mixtape. I always want to be one of them guys that said I wanted a mixtape. Um, Me rushing mixtapes when I was younger, man, I was like, I want one so bad. I think the day I got one, I was the happiest guy on earth. But I always kept working. Like basketball was so fun to me. Like without the knowing what rankings were, I was just super happy that I was just playing basketball every day, seventh and eighth grade. So
I believe you're originally from ATL and you move out to California, where you kind of grow up and obviously went through high school you originally and all that. Take us to that a little bit. What was it like just kind of growing up in California and ultimately being from Atlanta?
I'm being from Atlanta. It was an honor, man. There's just so many great NBA players come out of there. There's a lot of and it's like it's crazy that a lot of people don't understand. Like we produce probably one of the best basketball players to ever, to do it. Honestly, we got Josh Smith, Dwight Howard. There's a long list, So it's like, I'm happy for being there. But, growing up in California was cool. It was really different. It took me a while to get used to what my surroundings and where I was at, because in Atlanta is a little bit different. And I was just, I was happy to be somewhere else. My mom's from out here, so she was always saying about when we get to California, this, that, and third. And when I got here, I was like, okay, this is really nice. I got a chance to experience going to LA, going to Vegas, stuff that I seen on movies I never seen in person. So it was dope.
I know each player has their own preference where they kind of identify from, but when a person asks you, like, where is your state? Where do you identify from? Is that Atlanta? Do you identify from California? Like, where would you kind of call yourself your home state?
I'm from Atlanta for sure. Like
Mhm.
it's uh just because I played in California, and just did what I had to do, it doesn't mean I know. Everybody knows. Like if you really know, they're like, okay, he
Mhm.
from everybody. All my Atlanta friends know. Like, bro, I don't take nothing away from me, man. So I'm pretty happy for being there.
You come out here and eventually you join this Oakland Soldiers team where we look back at that now. We see you're on that team. We see Jacobs on that team. Jason Harris now the top football player. Yeah, Devin Askew. I mean, this team is loaded out there. All you guys before you guys really hit that big stage and become who you guys are today. What was that team just like getting to know those guys and playing with them?
It was different. We all had different personalities. I think the team we had was amazing. We was best team in the country. I mean, had top players on that team. We had Zion Harmon on the team.
Mhm.
One year, it was just different, man. I think it was just like we bonded together easily. We just came together like just win. I think it was happy. It was like we just wanted to win. We was all the whole team was we wanted to win. We didn't care what was the score. We was like, bro, we just got to win this game. So we everybody bought in before we even figure out like, okay, this is gonna be the team.
At this point, you guys are all kids. I mean, did you see you guys all panning out? Could you have even dreamed of saying that all you guys would become elite level guys, having a chance at playing pro at their respective sports?
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody knew that.
Hmm.
We got to, we was like, what, bro, we best. We gonna be the best, and we gonna flourish and be on top. So I think that's what we all did.
And your rise to fame really started. Obviously, we know you've been dunking since at middle school. You have a lot of posterized dunks. MSH TV camp you go to, you blow up there. And all this pressure is coming on you. We know, as you said, thousands of followers start coming in at a super young age. How did that impact you?
Um, I didn't really worry about it a lot. Growing up, it wasn't like I was worrying about it. I just knew it happened. You know what I mean? It was just they was just coming. I was like, it's cool because I loved the game. Like I was always worried about the game of basketball. I didn't really care about the what was going on outside of it. I was just, bro, I'm happy to play it. I mean, I'm happy to wake up every day to play the game. So that's why I was at with it.
I know you had an uninterrupted a little bit ago discussing that for young athletes because we know there's more and more guys that get a lot more followers on Instagram at a younger age. What's kind of your message to them? How do you balance that? How do you kind of make sure you prioritize your craft or just focusing on life as opposed to just all social media and all that can bring to you?
I feel like social media gets you distracted in ways.
Mhm.
You know, always trying to figure out like, are they talking about you? Are they posting about you? No, you want to stay relevant. So just say, man, just don't worry about it as much. No, it's not really important. They still gonna be there. You know what I mean? They still gonna be haters there. They still gonna be fans there. So
Mhm.
you just honestly don't even worry about it. Just think about like, all right, I got a couple, some followers that like what I do. There's people that hate what I do. That doesn't matter. So I'm gonna just keep working. I mean, the work don't stop.
Would you say at any point was social media ever a hurt to you? Was that ever something that impacted you in a negative way?
Oh yeah, I think the politic way when people, a lot of people was talking and hating on me. I
Mhm.
feel like it was just kind of like distract me in a way because I didn't want to be hated, to play the game. You know what I mean? I wanted people to like me because I play the game, but
Mhm.
I just realized like, okay, there's people that are gonna hate me to play the game and make jokes about me and say this, that, and the third. I was like, all right. When it happened, I was kind of at first, I was like, man, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, why? After a while, I'll be like, you know what I mean? If
Mhm.
you have no haters, like you must not be doing something correct. So I was like, after a while, I was like, everything started clicking.
And there were some points where it got really bad. I mean, there were some things talking about death threats. There was some stuff talking about you and dying before. We know that happened, I think, junior, senior yearish time. How would you react to those?
Um, I don't think it ever happened to nobody else that I know. You know what I mean? Um, kind of like you start thinking the way like, damn, like people actually want you gone.
Mm-hmm.
And just because you play basketball, just because you might have played them and they don't like you, and that's how they treat me. They treat me like, you know what, we want him. No, we want him dead. And it sucks though. But I just think about like, you know what, it's fine, man. I'm just keep on moving forward.
Now, that kind of stuff and just all aspects of life too that's kind of built up. It could kind of puts that chip on your shoulder, and that's something I love about your game. Whenever you play on the court, we know you're gonna play with passion, you're gonna play with energy, you have that dog mentality in you. Kind of take us through how all this stuff that came together, the rankings, the hate, all that stuff kind of came together and feels who Kyree Walker is on the court.
Um, I was always I'm from the South, so I always played physical. Everybody that I played Sharif Cooper, I played BJ Boston, I played Davion Smith, Caleb Murphy,
Mm-hmm.
I played everybody. I played college basketball now from Atlanta. I played with Anthony Edwards, played against Anthony Edwards. Um, they dogs. We just grew up in that dog. Like Atlanta ain't soft. Like I realized from the South, you ain't soft. You just like you got that real grimy, real, get down and dirty, you know what I mean? So it's like I just took that like, you know what? I want to be play harder than everybody else. I want to play more physical than people. I want to finish through contact. I want to do this in the third and just and have the opportunity to be like, okay, when I go play other teams, like I want to go play West Coast teams. When I moved to a West Coast, it was extremely easy because they wasn't really that like physical with me. So I was like, oh, this is easy. So I was like, all right, I could put. I know it's really easy when it got to the West Coast stuff. So I was like, all right, that's cool.
I think there's a couple different areas. Atlanta's obviously one of the biggest ones, in my opinion. I think Illinois, specifically in Chicago area, you got someplace in New Jersey, Philly. Those areas also have the dog mentality. But where would you say kind of has like the states or the areas that have the most dogs that you can kind of say they're a lot like Atlanta in terms of just that dog mentality?
Oh, New York. I played in Dyckman. I played in all that.
Hmm.
New York is really like they with it. They don't care who you are. They
Hmm.
going at you. And I was like, when I first played New York team, I was like, okay. I was like, oh, I played a Chicago team too. I played Mac Urban Fire. They was with it. They was like they was ready. Didn't care who I was. I was like, all right, that's what I want. You know what I mean? And it makes you be better though. Like sometimes you can lose a battle, but when you turn around and play somebody else again, you're like, oh yeah, he gonna do the same thing. You know what I mean? Come out, on top.
When you originally got out to California, and we know that those guys aren't as physical per se as Atlanta, were the refs a little bit calling a lot more fouls than you? Did you have to kind of adjust to the way you play as physicality wise?
Nah, refs wasn't still calling no fouls. I think everywhere I go, refs wasn't calling no fouls. They were really locked in on the game though. They knew like you couldn't really get away with a lot of stuff. But after a while, I was like, you know what? It's cool. I'm gonna just keep playing basketball. You worry about the fouls too much, or you worry about trying to not get fouled. Like then you mess up your whole game. Just play the game normally. If you get fouled, you don't. It's fine. Just keep going.
For guys like you that have that dog mentality, we know there's not a ton of them out there, but who are some guys that you've gone up against that you say they got that dog mentality and you kind of earn that respect for them? Like when you go up against them, they kind of earn your respect just because of that mentality they got.
Man, there's a lot of people.
Hmm.
Cade Cunningham, we played him. I played Jalen Green, Anthony Edwards. We played Dwight Odom, Caleb Murphy, Davion Smith. I don't like this long list. I was like, you know what?
Hmm.
But some of them already knew they was already doing what they was doing on on their circuit. I was like, all right, cool. We already know. It's not gonna be no easy one. We're gonna fight through the battle. But I was like, you know what? People were like talking. They was like, oh, he ain't gonna be this. He ain't gonna do that.
Hmm.
All right. So I was just like, it's game of basketball, man. You can say this, that, but if from off of one game, but you got to turn around and see him play again. He might have a
Hmm.
different. So you never know.
So you head into your freshman season. Obviously, you're out there in California, and you have an incredible year. We know you already came in with a lot of hype, but you go out there and you back that up. 21 points per game, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, bring your team to runner up in Division Two. Take us to that freshman year and how you really adjusted to the high school level.
It was. I would say we struggled a lot beginning of the year. We went like 1-6, I believe so. I think we
Hmm.
like 105 winners. Yeah, I think we started off really really bad though, but could nobody really think we was gonna even get close to a state champion title like at all. Like not even close. I was like, we just all bought in. That was a really main thing. Like it was a lot of. I was young. Me and my other teammate was the youngest on the team. We was really had to buy in. That was the biggest thing. We had two seniors that was no let us, and we just really had to buy in. But like, you know what? Let's come together and let's start winning games, and that's what we did. We went like 24 straight game win streak.
At the end of the year, you get awarded Max Prep Freshman Player of the Year, and that's obviously a huge award for anyone out there. Take us through what it was like getting that accolade.
I was kind of surprised
Hmm.
because I was looking like at Max Preps and everybody was scoring 45. And I'm like, okay, this is real. I'm like 45 as a freshman. I'm like, I didn't even think I had a close to a 45 point game ever. Going
Hmm.
to my. But I was kind of surprised though that I got it, but I was working hard. So I was in a talk for it, but I didn't think I was gonna get it because everybody was 40 and stuff like that. So
And after that season, we know you have this incredible freshman season. You're Max Prep Freshman Player of the Year. The followers continue to go up, and you make a big move. You come out to Arizona, go to Hillcrest. Take us to that transition.
um, I wanted to be a better person on and off the court,
Hmm.
more mature, and just be a dog, man. Like I wanted to play on the prep level with CIF. I'm not saying it's bad,
Hmm.
but a little bit more challenge. So I played. So I wanted to go play out there at in Arizona.
Prior to this move, though, you do also make another big announcement. You originally do your commitment to ASU. Take us through that. I mean, that was obviously pretty young. You obviously decommit down the road, but what went into that original decision? Why was ASU the right school for you at that point, and why did you say that was the right time to make that decision?
I wanted to hoop. a lot of things got into like, oh, offers. I'm like, I didn't really worry about the offers. I was like, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play.
Mm-hmm.
No stress and just play and had to worry about no offers. And that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm gonna just strictly play. I was happy with the decision. I talked to everybody, was like, all right, let's do it. So
Mm-hmm. As you said, you play on this prep level and you got a lot of the Division I players on your team. What are those practices like as a sophomore? You come in there, just what's like going up against a lot of the guys that are high major guys going to college? Just what was those practices and environments like?
it was really a dunk battle. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are from different places, and we had different guards from different places, and it was hard. You know, coming as a sophomore, and I was just trying to figure out like the whole new vibe, a whole new how things really work in our prep level on a high level, playing other teams. And it was like I was trying to figure out like what was like what I needed to do, what was my role, my purpose on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Demarius Jacobs goes to St. Louis now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I remember he was giving me the work in my sophomore year. He was just dunking everything, and I was just trying to figure it out. And after a while, like, okay, I know what to do, and I committed to it, very early.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, Hillcrest had a DeAndre in already. We know they're kind of reviving, they're kind of growing up a little bit. But they weren't quite at the level they are now, where they're social media high, they're well known across the country. Take us to that development though. What was like kind of just rising Hillcrest up to where they are today?
Sophomore year was like it was new, really new. We
Mm-hmm.
really had body. We had a lot of people that was ranked in the top 100.
Mm-hmm.
That I could remember. Maybe KJ. KJ was probably somewhere in the top 100. Couldn't remember. And it was like, coming in, I was like, I knew I was only 5 star though.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, it didn't matter. But you don't really go to Hillcrest if you ain't really. If you like, honestly, you don't go to Hillcrest if you ain't good.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Hillcrest. So it's like they got people that was really good. Didn't matter where they were on the rankings. They just knew they was good enough to play on our team for sure.
I mean, that's the thing I want to touch up on because we'll get into a little bit more later, but rankings is something that I feel has got too big of a cloud now around high school where so many guys really hyper focus on where they're ranked and they judge players by that. But we constantly see now guys in the NBA panning out that weren't ranked or were lowly ranked, same thing in college. Take us through this whole ranking world and really what's your thoughts on rankings?
Um, rankings is just a number right near your name. There's some stars right near your name
Mm-hmm.
that people try and define you by. That's how I see it now. Before I was what 5 star my whole life. Didn't play one year. I went down to I don't even know what the timing stars I went down to. I think they took me rankings after that, and I was like, I was confused because I seen multiple people that didn't play our junior year who was hurt. I don't believe it. Who was hurt and stayed in the same ranking and they were ranked higher than me. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But when I do it, I understand. But they always had some excuse though. All them ranking people always had an excuse why, oh, we don't know if he was gonna reclass or not, and they always had an excuse. They didn't want to keep 100. They don't like me. I wouldn't be mad either. I would be mad too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't like me. They didn't want to keep 100. Like they ended up telling my coach at the end of like we didn't really like Kyree. We just felt like he always had some his style of play. It was always just confident. I was like
Mm-hmm.
too confident. They was like he said apparently they was like they didn't really like me, but you can't please everybody nowadays, man. So it's whatever.
And that kind of where I want to jump up a little bit too, because as you said, you take off the senior year, you go and focus on your own craft again. But that's where something I saw. I mean, you always were a 5 star, top five, top 10 for majority of your career. And all of a sudden they drop you, I believe, to 208, which is something that, in my opinion, I know a lot of people too. That's just disrespectful to a degree. I mean, it's not a jump. I mean, no matter even if you were hurt, you're not going to drop down 200 spots or say. What was your reaction when you first saw that though?
Well, late.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
I really know. I don't got no comment. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
don't because they are no man. That's very low IQ for them. There's
Mm-hmm.
no way 200 go from a top 15 kid to a 200 off of one year. Hey, do whatever makes you happy, man. So like I said, man, they had an excuse for everything though. They had an excuse. They want to keep on him. They ain't like me. It is what it is.
Without a doubt. And that's where you're heading your junior year now, and this is where Hillcrest really starts building that brand up. You guys get DT out there, and at the time he wasn't too well known, but we know he blows up over the course of that year. Devin Cambridge, we know who he is now out there at Auburn, and a lot of these pieces on this team now. How special was that team?
Man, that's probably the best Hillcrest team. No, man.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody go to China, go undefeated. Ain't lose no. We barely losing games. We lost on some games on some fluke stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff was fluky. We beat the top teams in the country. Beat Finley.
Mm-hmm.
Got them out. Beat Lincoln. Got them out of here. When blew out AZ Compass 2 years in a row. Can be technical. You know what I mean? So I feel like we was the best team in Arizona, regardless. The best was top 10 team in the country. Was we bought it. Everybody knew they role. Everybody knew they role. Nobody didn't do anything that wasn't like out of the ordinary. Everybody knew what everybody was capable of. We just wanted to win. I think that's our biggest thing. I think that's the biggest thing about our team that year.
Mm-hmm.
Was winners. Everybody was a winner on that team. We didn't do no losing. I think our first loss, we got mad. So it was like, bro, we're gonna do that losing stuff over here. So we went to straight winning. So probably the best team ever, put together though by Hillcrest.
Mm-hmm. I want to kind of go through a couple of these guys. One guy that said DT, that time he comes in, we know he's not really well known. He blows up to now where he was a top 50 have a guy doing this thing out there at Arizona, but you just get into practice with him. We know he's that goofy kind of guy, but he also has that dog mentality at the same time. Take us through DT and just his personality.
Dylan's probably the one funniest guy that he's behind Devin and the funniest person overall. Like, Devin's is over the top. He does the most. His personality on the court is different. Like we'd be mid game and he would just start making jokes, and we'd be like, "Dude, like we're in the game right now. Why are you trying to make me laugh?"
Mm-hmm.
He always get me in trouble, Dalen in trouble, just because it was laughing. Me at practice. It's just little stuff, man, and just Dalen would just know he was just always ready. He was always ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to win, man. I remember we played Prolific.
Mm-hmm.
Our first year, we played Prolific like 2 times. But first time we played him at AZ. I remember I flew like 3 game winners in a row. I'm like, bro, don't throw me the ball. Dalen brought me aside and he said a joke. I'm like, bro, look in these games right now. Why are you trying to make me laugh? He was like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. We know you're gonna hit one. I was like, you know what? You're right. And we just started laughing. Dalen led the country in assists, level 14, I think, 13. I ain't gonna lie, that a lot of that. I don't know about who was averaging 13, 14 assists though, per game. That's hard to do.
And in my opinion, DT's a guy I think we're going to see develop a lot more. We know he's still got a lot to grow into his body, but down the road, we see year 2 he comes into now for sophomore year and junior, however long he is at Arizona. How special can he be?
But Dalen can be very special. Dalen, put some weight on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen he dunking now. He was not dunking when he was at Hillcrest. He was getting a little baby dunk. He was getting hung a lot, but it's like, but Dalen, come on, man, like dunk the ball. And after I don't know where he just started dunking crazy. I was like, yeah, that boy been working on his bounce. But he just get stronger. Everybody know Dalen, put the ball on the floor for his length. He's a really good point guard.
And the other guy you said obviously was the funniest guy is Devin, and he has a crazy story too, where he didn't really get too many offers up until the final AAU season, where he blows up and gets all the schools in the country pretty much. But how special was he just playing alongside him, growing with him? Just what was your guys' bond like?
Me and Devin had a great bond, man. It was fun, man. Devin spent the night at my house. Was always chilling. Was always vibing, and it was great. Me and him, it was weird. Me and him be on FaceTime for hours, just joking, playing together. Like it was cool. Like I relied on Devin for anything. If I told Devin, but like, man, I feel some type of way about this situation, blah blah. He got me. If he never need call me, we was good communicating. It was always like that's my dog for sure.
And I've heard a lot of stories about you guys' dunk contest before during practices. We know he's a high flyer. You got it. A couple of the guys on that team were. Just what was it like kind of dunking off against him?
Devin was like Devin was between legs in practice with no dribbles. Like I was like, dude, like stop it.
Hmm.
Coach would stop our 3-man weeks to Devin. Devin will mess up our thing. We be vibing. You know, me get a little dunks. Here comes Devin. Between legs, no dribble. He's like, all right, we're not going to do this no more. But you know, I just I think that was probably the best team I played on. I'm happy I finished with the boys though for sure.
Hmm. And I said he didn't really start blowing up until that final AU season after senior season with you guys. But did you see him become the kind of guy he is today, becoming a high level guy? And also, like, why do you think it took so long for people to start noticing how special he could have been?
Um, Everybody knew Devin was a D1 guy.
Hmm.
Just off the why he defense, he was really greedy. He was hungry.
Hmm.
And Devin will let you know if you BSing, he'll tell you like, bro, stop BS and then really, turn up. Like he will let you know. Like Devin was our energy guy. No, we took Devin like, all right, my bad, my fault, Devin. Like Devin was coming. I was like, dude, you're playing around too much, and we need you to stop. And we was like, all right, my fault, my fault. We start locking in from there.
What would you say is your favorite memory or the funniest moment from that team?
Oh, we went to China.
Hmm.
That was so different. Man, just not that we were just playing, we were just having fun, being ourselves, man. It was it was different. It was very different.
You guys are traveling a foreign country for, I believe it was 10, 15 days, something like that. Like, what was your favorite memory? Like, what was the favorite thing you did out there?
Um, we went to a park
Hmm.
and played with other people. I think that was really fun. And Devin was just dunking everything we threw out. I was like, I'm like, this is fun. I mean, then we were so impatient to play. We was like, bro, let's go out there and hoop. And we hooped. I was like, bro, this is lit. I can't lie.
After the season comes to a close, then we know you have your final AAU season. You're out there with Dream Vision, and you guys have a special team. A Schumaker, we know who he is. You have a lot of guys, Isaiah Cottrell, Coleman Hawkins, a lot of big time players. What was that decision to go play with them?
I played with Dreamville for the last 3 years. I feel like I had nowhere. I feel like I had to go nowhere else. Still ranked in. Uh,
Hmm.
I was still doing what I had to do. So I ranked in top 20. Yeah, that was it. No, I was at 15. I think they had me at like 13, yeah, 13, 14. But I was comfortable. It was like all I gotta do is finish the year and just finish strong, just win. I was worried about winning. We had a good team. I was like, man, we're gonna win. I ain't want to lose. So that's what we was doing.
Touching up on a couple of those guys, one guy, obviously, Maker, he takes his unique route. Just what was it like playing with him, though? He kind of blew up during that summer. So really people started realizing him as a five-star, top-level type of guy. What was it like just growing when playing with him?
Realize he know the game of basketball. He understands like where to be, what spots to be.
Hmm.
He'll like, yo, you missed me on this cut. He'll like just look for me next time. I see he wide open. I'm like, okay, cool. So he understand. He communicated. We were just on a different level. So
You had a couple of the funny guys too. Coleman Hawkins, I know, is a funny guy. Isaiah Cottrell too. Where would you rank Coleman though specifically? Where would you rank him in terms of Devin, Dalen? Like where's he on the funny scale list?
Cohen is different. No, Cohen is different. Cohen is a different guy from anybody else. I don't care. Coleman and Isaiah, they just like two goofballs, man. Like was in a room with them during right before the season we start. So we had like a little practice. We stand in the same room together. I couldn't be in that room for longer than like 25 minutes. I went on both of them. All they doing is yelling, dancing. I'm like, bro, can you please stop? I'm waking me up. I was like, you know what, you're gonna fight. But a lot of those guys, man, just everything they was doing, bro, was super funny. It was just always good, man. I'm happy. I was I was happy with them too. Like them two just brought light. You know what I mean? If I
Hmm.
was there, bro, Kyree, come here. They'll just tell me weird, stupid jokes. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, please, I was like, please stop. But I mess with them. I mess with them extremely heavy.
If you were to put DT and Devin in a room together and Isaiah and Coleman together, who's going to become the funniest duo out of those two?
I don't know. I don't know because Dalen is funny too, though. Dalen's funny. Everybody's funny. Like, I always have funny teammates.
Mm-hmm.
always have funny things. So I wouldn't know. It's hard.
And throughout that summer, then we know there's a lot of big games you play, and ultimately come then to what would have been your theoretical senior year where you graduate. You decide to take the year off, you're evaluating all the decisions. Kind of get through your thought process. Like, what were your options? What were you looking at for your senior year?
Looking to go. I was looking to go play college basketball. I was going to enroll early in January
Mm-hmm.
and then finish out the year. Then probably go to the draft. Then be in the 2020 draft,
Mm-hmm.
which no, soon I was gonna get cleared. COVID stopped that process. So I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't know what they was doing for college basketball the following year, so I was like, I want to do this. Then that's when everybody was criticizing me about, oh, what's he gonna do? Then everybody was hating on what I was trying to do, and you know what I mean. So
Mm-hmm. Now, I know some people started saying we saw this super team forming at Hillcrest. At least on paper, we saw Mike Foster, we see Puff Johnson, we know DT still there, Keon, all those guys coming together. And a lot of people are saying, obviously, you put yourself in that mix, you're going to be the kind of leader of the team. Was that ever an option for you? Did you ever consider joining that team for Hillcrest?
yeah, I was thinking about coming back, but you know,
Mm-hmm.
things happen. And just I was like, you know what, I'm cool, man. I just wanted to focus, man, just focus on myself. You know, I wanted to go back out there, but you know, certain things happen. I was, you know, I'm all right. I was just like, just let me just move forward from there. So
So we go through this college process where we ultimately know your final decision is, but what colleges were you really looking at? And did it switch over that time span? Like when you first were looking at possibly going last year, was that a different school? Were you looking at different schools? 'Cause I know you once said Memphis would have been where you wanted, but just kind of take us through your different decisions and what schools really were up there for in your rankings during this whole process.
like it was Memphis, Western Kentucky, and Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas was pushing the hardest. Arkansas was coming down all really, really often. I was talking to the coach almost every day. I was thinking about going to Arkansas in January. I was going to visit and watch them play. They probably made my decision there, but no things happen, man. And just I'm happy with my decision right now, and just gonna keep moving forward from here.
That's what I really want to touch up on because that's been your past year and you really changed the whole game. We saw Jalen, those guys take the G League route, really changed it. Then we see you, we see MarJon, we see Max Lewis take this other route now for just training for a year. Take us through this whole process. Like, why was that something you felt confident in? Why was that the decision you wanted to go?
Um, I put in my body. I wanted my body. Everybody knew what my game was like,
Mm-hmm.
but everything was like I want my body to be way different from everybody else. So you know, man. So I had to get my body together. I knew the game. My dad was just pushing me like, bro, your game is always gonna be there. We know what you can do on the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like we want to know, like your body got to be where we need it to be, where you can take any contact and still finish and like take bumps. I was like, you know what, you're right, and do no. That's what we did.
And we see some of the workouts you guys are going through. They're not easy. You guys are running multiple miles. Take us through these workouts, especially that first day. You get out there, go to that very first workout. What was that first day like?
Oh, it was terrible. My arms were killing me.
Mm-hmm.
I was super tired. I barely could walk. I was just really like, dang, this is not no joke. So it was me thinking about it now. I don't want to go back. I'm not want to go back for my first day. I want to. It was just I don't want to think about that because that was a long. It was a long first day. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's no joke. Like they really, you really hell's trainer. I mean, so I was just like, okay, we got 12 months of this. Okay, my body be a monster. So I was just waiting for no progress, and I see it.
And there's multiple guys you guys you work out with. We know, obviously, I said MarJon, Max, all those guys are out there with you. Then you also get some NBA players start coming in, training days with you. Just what was it like being around guys? I believe like Wendell Carter's one day out there with you. Like, what was it just like being around other guys that are ultimately in the shoes you eventually want to be in?
Trey Young was here too.
Mm-hmm.
Talking to Trey, me and Trey was like, bro, he was like, this is probably the best thing for you. Talking to Wendell said the same thing. It was like, bro, everybody know what your game like. They was like, a lot of the stuff is a lot of the body stuff. So I was like, all right, cool.
Another guy that said Max and MarJon great players, but MarJon specifically, we know he's going to go back trying to go through the college route right now. How special is he in this? What was that kind of growing with him over the past few months?
Well, it was great. Maybe we bonded a lot. We
Mhm.
already knew who we were, but it was like we never really talked out how to hang out. We just started
Mhm.
hanging out almost every day, man. It was cool. We was just talking. We had fun, and I'm happy that we got a chance to do that.
Max, on the other hand, I know he kind of blew up a little bit heading into his junior year, throughout Compass out there, but now he's kind of changed his whole body too. What's kind of the level he's playing at, and what can people expect from him throughout the next couple of months when people start seeing him?
Max he looks good, man. Like
Hmm.
most athletic guy I've seen with my two eyes, other than Devin. Really athletic, really long, know how to play the game, understand the game. So he's gonna be a problem.
You're on the Gilbert Arenas show a little bit ago, and you talked about yourself, and you said you obviously you're better than you were your junior year. So where are you right now? How much better are you than the last time we saw you take the court?
We talking about skill, probably if I played my junior year, I would get my junior year 40. That's like today, like say 40. I'm
Hmm.
stronger than you, I'm gonna be hot. I'm hot, I'm taller than you, stronger than you, I'm gonna way faster than you. If I play my junior stuff today. I'm gonna be completely athletic. Like I'm nowhere near. I feel like I wish I had this body going into my junior year though. Like at 45 easily. I was torching. I was giving people 30 on one good leg.
Hmm.
So like messed up my hand multiple times. So I'm healthy. I feel like I would for sure I would get myself some problems though. I'll knock him over, dunk on him, like I'll give him some issues. It would have been a bad. It would have been a real issue. I ain't gonna lie.
Is there a player you look at in the NBA, past, present, that you say you kind of play a lot like, or you compare yourself to?
Um, Recently I got Donovan Mitchell. That's what I've been getting a lot. We got a lot of Donovan Mitchell, and just start looking to his game. No, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. Just taller. That's all. Athletic wise, all that. How I move, how he move. I'm looking like he a problem for real. He's really a huge problem, and I started watching a lot of him. A lot of OJ Mayo too. I'm watching a lot of
Mhm.
OJ, and just trying to figure out what play style and looking at the space, and they just been like they saying like, bro, your body type looks crazy. Like that was like who in the NBA look like that? It was like,
Mhm.
oh, Harden. I was like, oh, okay. Your upper half look crazy. Your lower half, look like Donovan Mitchell. But I just been watching all types of guys. I'm just trying to get the flow where I would be at. You know what I mean? Different type of scenarios, where the cuts, and where to be at when the time is right, how to play the screen. So
If I'm an NBA GM, because you're gonna start having those conversations pretty soon, what would you answer this question by? If I ask you, what would you bring to my team in your rookie year? How'd you answer that?
I'm bringing intensity. I
Hmm.
bring fire. I'm bringing energy. I'm gonna bring the will to win. I'll do whatever it takes. That, you know what I mean? If I gotta be the water boy, I'll be the water boy. I'll
Hmm.
do a good job at it too. Like, you know what I mean? You
Hmm.
know what I mean? If you tell me I got some buffs from tables before the game and I gotta be spotless, I'll bust some tables before that game. It's gonna be spotless. So I do whatever it takes though. Like and it's not just saying like just say it to say it, like I really do whatever it takes though, because like at this point, like I'm getting ready to get to the league. Everybody got different roles. You gotta know your role. I know my role. I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna just play the game how I play it. So
And this is a typical thing. We kind of discussed a lot of social media earlier on that aspect, but some people say guys that they get it on younger, it can be harder for them going through. But I know another aspect to that could also be, well, you've already gone through this. You've got used to the social media aspect. How do you think it's going to prepare you now? As a rookie in the NBA, we know how much attention is going to come on you. We know how much more people are going to hate on you. How much has all the stuff you've already gone through for the past 5, 6 years or so going to help you when you get to the NBA?
I feel like it's nothing the same thing. People that don't know basketball, so they know basketball already, so
Hmm.
they still criticize you. They gonna be like, oh, he's not that good. But I can I'm not I refuse to talk to people that doesn't know the game of basketball. If you haven't played in the high level, I refuse to talk to you. Um, because I feel like you really don't know. Times change, so you really don't know. You swear you know, but you honestly don't know the game of basketball like you should. So Honestly, just don't worry about it. Everybody gonna talk. Everybody got their own opinion about you. Their opinions really don't matter. You know what I mean? Someone who have their opinion hasn't touched a basketball in their life. Being honest, they probably did when they were probably in like third grade, but they were never good at it. They never played a high level. So why I gotta listen to your opinion? You got opinion, so much gonna get you likes on or Instagram or on Twitter. Like I think that's what a lot of people do now. They're trying to get likes on Twitter. Like, oh yeah, like okay, I'm cool now. Hey, do what makes you happy, man.
Absolutely. There's a few more little points I want to touch up on before I let you go. One of which is you were part of two really just big basketball stages we talk about through high school level and just basketball in general. One of which is Dyckman, another one is playing the Drew League. Take us through those different experiences and really what they were like.
Drew League is you more mainly play pros and just it's different, very different environment.
Mm.
Um, Eichmann is different, it's way different. That's man, that's hard to explain. Eichmann is really, really hard to explain. That's just the environment is different. The environment is crazy. They're big on basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta really know how to play. If you don't, you'll get booed. And Dykeman and Drew League, that won't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dykeman, so
Two of them, which one would you prefer? I know Dyckman obviously got more crowd around you. They obviously are a lot more. I mean, we just see the kind of the more street ball atmosphere that we see. Like you said, obviously the Drew League is more laid back to a degree. Where you're still just going against top guys, a lot more organized to a degree. Which one out of your preferences though did you like more?
I like Dykeman more. Drew League was really, really good,
Mm-hmm.
but I like Dykeman a little bit more. Just the environment.
Absolutely. And another thing you've talked about before, and that is Kobe Bryant. We know there was a separate scene that you've talked about and brought up a few different times before, where you look at he goes through your poster dunk you had in middle school and he reacts to it. Take us to when you first saw that the very first time and what your reaction was to that.
I was very surprised. I thought a lot of people was capping at first, but
Mm-hmm.
when I saw what, I'm really happy. And I was wearing the number 8, so that even made it more a little bit like, all right, this could be a sign. Maybe this could be like something I could look back on, but all right. So I was like, this is really, really cool that no, he did that. And I was wearing one of his numbers. So I was like, all right, no, I'm really happy that happened.
Now in Twitter, you also have something pinned. Watch the people that turn away from you. And that's not just from this past year. This is from quite a few years ago. Take us through what really led you to pin that and really have that set to you to want to go out there and tweet it.
Um, a lot of people turning backs because when you're on top for so long, people doing it to knock you over or just try to criticize you or try to throw throw dirt on your name. And a lot of my friends I was cool with, they didn't believe in me anymore. Um, they saw I was going through a hard time with my mom. They didn't really check up on me. Um, they knew I was mentally not there, and just I was really, really frustrated. And no, they didn't really check up on me. They didn't really know. They didn't really care for me. They only care for me when they found out that their death report came out. I was like, see, I was like, you know what I mean? It showed like people that really ain't your friends. No, it happens though. You gotta realize though who's wrong, who's really in your circle for real. So I learned that, and people turn it back, and I was like, that's cool. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm all right with it.
And how do you deal with that? Because that is something that I know a lot of people always talk about, that not all people are going to rock with you with your highs and lows. How do you learn to separate through that and really find that true group that's kind of your core group that you knew is going to rock with you no matter what?
Just really stay to yourself, man. That's why biggest thing.
Hmm.
People who hit you up and ask for your best interest, ask how you really doing, really care about you.
Hmm.
Those fucking around when that time comes, you'll see it. You know what I mean? They always come back sooner or later. So that's how I see it.
And you did go through, like he's mentioned too, a couple different tough times throughout 2016, 17 time with your mom and your grandparents too. How are you able to handle that? Because you still produce at a high level on the court, but how would you kind of handle that and deal with that at such a young age?
Um, I was really frustrated junior year.
Hmm.
Freshman year, my grandma died. Um, Messed me up, but I was just, you know what I mean? My mom just told me just keep hooping, focus, turn
Hmm.
around, talk my grandfather that passed away. That hurt me really, really hard. Didn't turn around. My mom had cancer, so I was going to sophomore, summer, junior year, just really frustrated with life and just really out of it mentally. Still trying to keep everything up, still trying to play the best I can. It's really frustrating. And no, my coach knew, multiple coaches knew that what I was going through. They kept my head up best they could. There been times where I blew up in certain situations, but I let them know that was my fault. I should have done that, but you know, I'm human just like they are. Um, and no, I made a mistake during that. During certain times during practice, and I blew up. I shouldn't have. I got frustrated, and I let them know that was my fault for the way I acted. And I just kept moving forward and kept my head up.
Was there a certain person in your life? Was it faith? Was it God? Was it who? What kind of helped God get you through that? Was it coaches? Like, who really was your base to help get you through those times?
Probably my family, my little sister, my dad, and my mom.
Hmm.
People don't do what she was going through. No, I didn't really worry about it. Everybody else was saying, "Bro, we got you." I didn't really care what they said because they didn't really care. Like there's moments where you can tell, like, yeah, he's not, he's not the same person. I went
Hmm.
from really talkative my sophomore year to not really speaking to a lot of people my junior year because of what I was going through mentally, and I was mentally wasn't there, and people don't understand. Like they take that away from me, and they use that against me though. So they use like, oh, he's not mentally strong, and then I know it sucks though. I just sometimes you gotta just keep going forward, and that's what I did. I just try to keep going forward from there.
Absolutely. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One, which is something I like wrapping up with, and that's discussing your legacy. Because ultimately, I know each guy wants to create something that they're remembered for long after they're even here. So when you do step away from this game someday, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for? What do you want to be? What do you really want your legacy to be for what you achieve both on and off the court?
On the court, I want to achieve that. I was a hard worker,
Hmm.
the best motor, known to man. I was a true winner. Off the court, I want to be known as a person that always helped. People didn't help me in my tough times, but I want to help other people out what they go through in life. Um, always just I want to be inspirational, man. I just want to able to have people to come to me and talk to me about their stuff they deal with, family issues they deal with, because I've been through it. I know how to feel. I know the feeling of it. I know the feeling of losing people. I know the feeling of of how being down, being low, not letting people know. And I just want to let people know, man, like I'm here if you need it. So I want to be able to. I'm gonna be a call away. I'm gonna be a reach away. I want people to understand, like, man, this guy off the court, he's really helpful. So
Absolutely, man. Well, final thing I want to touch up on is your faith. I know you've talked about faith, you talked about God quite a bit. Kind of discuss your faith and how God's helped get you to the point you're at today.
without God, I wouldn't be here. I realized that there's been multiple times where God tested me in many ways, and I struggle in many ways. But for like God, he trying to show me something that there's a bigger goal to it. I just kept believing God and just keep moving forward. I'll be all right.
What's the biggest time you've seen God show up in your life so far?
Um, during my high school year, for sure, during that sophomore senior year, I just he showed up big. He felt like he took a lot away. Just know, like, damn, like, okay, but then he showed like there's more to it.
Hmm.
I feel like he talks to me. You know what I mean? Sometimes you feel like God don't talk, but he is. Just he gonna show you in a different way.
Amen, man. I couldn't agree more. Well, I definitely appreciate you taking time to come on today, man. I can't wait to see what God got next for you, and best of luck the next couple of months heading up to the draft, man. Of
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
course, you're always welcome on, man. God bless.